So today I'm going to show you how to do a commercial film look in DaVinci Resolve. Now there are a couple of different nodes here, and yes, it looks extremely intimidating, but I'm going to break it down for you guys one by one so you can follow it along. So for my first node, we're going to come over here, we'll put the color space transform tool. We're going to take it and put in our information of our camera, and then at the same time, we're also going to transform this to DaVinci Wide Gamut and DaVinci Intermediate. All right, so then coming over to our CST out, what we're going to do is we're going to input that same information, and then I'm going to put it as Cineon Film Log. So we're using DaVinci Wide Gamut because it is a much wider space to work on than all the other ones. Now for the film look, what we're going to use here, Kodak 2383D55. So pop that bad boy on there and boom, automatically my image is now a little blown up. Then coming over to my exposure node, I made a nice little S-curve using edible splines where you can find right over here, and then that will allow you to fine tune and adjust your points. Then coming over to my primary color wheels, I just dropped my gain a little bit down, dropped my gamma. So now I wanted to make some more adjustments because again, now you can see that Lola's face is a little too dark. So this is where the HDR wheels come in handy. Selecting on that, I was then able to kind of balance the image. It drops the contrast a little bit, but the HDR wheels lets you fine tune those exposure values so that way it looks a lot more natural how it would look like in camera. Then coming over to my sky node, I was like, man, it looks blue, but I know for a fact I can adjust it a little bit more. So coming over here, I went over to my HSL and I just refined it to the point where I can only capture the blues, popped over by the hue versus saturation, and then I increased the blues ever so slightly and added a little more color back in there. Now Lola's face is still pretty dark, so what I came over and did was I added another vignette, and that vignette I just drew a little circle around her face and then I softened it primarily using the gain wheel, and then I adjusted that to my liking. And then the final thing I did was use a split tone node. I dragged that bad boy on there, protected my neutrals, and then I increased the strength just a little bit, and I was able to get a little more pop in there. We're gonna drop right over here. So to get some more cinematic saturation, I then created an HSV node, popped that just a little bit, and then I also used a color slice to drop down the reds because it was seeming a little too red from her body. So when I decrease those reds, after that, finally add a little bit of grain, and voila, we have a film look. So we took our image from looking like this all the way to this. If this breakdown helped you, feel free to follow for more, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Take it easy.